I got booted. I don't know what happened. It just shut off. Man, maybe they think it's Monday. Huh. Yeah, we are. Okay. Now let me get back to the dot. A dot placed after a note increases the value by 1/2 the original value. You have an eighth note that equals 2/16. That's the original value. So you have a dotted eighth note, it's going to equal more than 2/16. How much more? Well, half that original value is one more. So a dotted eighth note equals 3/16. Now, if you're on page 12, line number 1, okay, you have the dotted eighth note and then a 16th. That's played, you're counting 16ths. 1, E, and da. See it? 1 E and da. You understand that, Stacy? What's 3/16? What is that? 3/16. 3/16. That's right, Robert. All right. Do you understand that, Stacy? A dotted eighth note, then the 16th. 1 E and da. 1 E and da. Got it? Now you go to 2, you have a quarter note. That's equal to 4/16. 2 E and da. Then 3 E and the 4 E and the. That completes the measure. Now, recommended, I'm doing 16th no count. I'm not going 1, 2, 3, 4. I want you to break it down, slow it down. So, hey, bunga. Well, come on, man. So incorporate your practice here. You're trying to understand better the dot. So I want you to do it slow. So do it in full strokes. So you're practicing full strokes plus you're practicing reading. And it's essential you count at this point. So let me do the first line. 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and the 4 E and the 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and the 4 E and the. That was 2 measures, but you see how I utilized that spacing? I used full strokes. So I'm kind of incorporating my practice time. I'm doing full strokes, plus I'm reading the line. Okay? And now, line 1, 2, 3, and 4 are basically the same, but the dotted eighth note on the first line falls on 1. The dotted eighth note on line 2 falls on the count of 2. And then on line 3, the dotted eighth note falls on 3. And then on 4, the dotted eighth note falls on 4. They're simple lines. I'm going to run through it a little faster. I'm going to start with line 2. 1, 2 E and 3, 4. Then I'm going to do one measure, go down the page, all right? One measure line 2, one measure line 3, one measure line 4. Now let me start from the beginning, line 1. 1 E and 2, 3, 4. 1 E and 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, da. Now, I counted it a little bit differently than I asked you to count it. I counted as written. 1, like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's essential that you count the 16th notes, get the distance. Put your metronome on 50 or 40 as the quarter note. Tick, tick. So you have 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a, and if you can, do the whole page. Now, you're not going to get too much linear here. You can, but man, you're going to work your ass off. Okay, but we're not going to do that right now. Just a supplementary exercise. If I'm playing 16th notes, 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and the 4E and the. Play the line, the melody line, with the right hand on a different voice of your choice. The floor tom-tom or the small tom-tom. Like I said to everybody, Monday I'm going to have the big set up, and we're going to go flippy on it, okay? That's what seems that everybody likes. I don't know why, man. You can't get it out of one drum, you're not going to get it out of 10. Line 1, 16ths with the left hand, the melody line on the floor tom-tom. I'll do it slow. 1, E, and the 2, E, and the 3, E, and 4. Line 2, 1, E, and the 2, E, and the 3, E, and the 4, E, and the. Piece of cake. You want to pick it up a little bit? Have a lot of fun with it. Or you can play 16th notes with the right hand on the hi-hat. 2 or 4 on the snare. 1 E and the 2 E and the 3 E and the 4. You can make everything out of it. You're just doing some. Like I said yesterday, you know, sometimes when you're first learning something, it's boring, man. It is so boring. And you say, what am I doing this for? You know, and all that good stuff. You know, I got a set of drums here. I want to blow my brains out. No. When you can play musically. Okay? When you're practicing, you're kind of creating. But you're making this reading fun. Okay, you could have a blast with this. Hello, Mr. Mante. All right, do you understand this, guys? Do you agree with it? Just have a good time. But like, let's not be shallow. We're all different. Oh, my eye. We're all the same. We're on the same journey here. We're all trying to learn something new or get better at what we do know. All right, and always review it, revisit it. Plus, you want to be creative. That's your own voice, your artistic value, your worth. We agree with that, guys? Like I said, I didn't have time to write anything out for you for today, but I'm going to try to send something for the 7 o'clock lesson. Now, what I'm doing, I started to work on it. I didn't complete it. I want to complete the whole thing. I'm giving you maybe 1 or 2 different pages, and I shouldn't do this because I mixed the measures up a little bit so they can't get me for copyright. Okay? So, what we're going to do, the Ralph C. Pace, okay, variations of drumming. The first 2 pages will put you on a map to be a reader. You're talking 16th notes, dotted 8th notes, 16th note rest, 8th note rest, dotted 8th note rest. So what I'm doing for you is I'm taking one of the measures and putting it on the left-hand side, and next to it, the second measure is going to be broken down as you're counting 16th notes, and I'm going to put an accent on each note that you should be playing as the figure. You'll figure it out. It's a foolproof way of learning how to read. It is difficult. Already? Paul, send it back. I don't have any more copies. I had to call the printer up and say, hey man, I need some more copies. So I just ordered 15 copies. They were expensive. Woof. You know how much Staples charges for double-sided? Wow. I'm lucky with the postage and everything. I'm making $1. But that's okay. That's why the price is so high. If I had a machine like all those publication companies and I could just blow out 100 books, no problem, you know, and bind them a little bit different, you know, it's insane, but don't worry about it. Enjoy it. If you have any questions on the book, Paul, please shout out to me, okay? Now, one thing that I do want you to do, all right, besides what you're going to get sometime tonight, if you don't get it, don't be upset, okay? I mean, I'm just loaded up here. And what I want you to do, you already know, does everybody here know how to do 3 against 2? 3 with the left hand and the 2 with the right hand. Now speak up and be honest, because if you don't know, I'm going to really explain it, because the next couple lessons is going to be 3 against 4. So you have to know 3 against 2 at first to understand 3 against 4. So I just need a yes or a no. I don't need, I'm not sure, maybe. It's either you know it or you don't. 3 against 2. All right. Sort of. I told you, Paul, yes or no? Huh. Okay. Investment. What the hell is that? Oh, man. Here we go. Confusion says make Matt crazy. Okay. I will demonstrate it. Okay. All right. I'm going to do that. And we'll actually, you know what we'll do is we'll take one of the pages and go back a little bit. And we'll do, instead of 3 against 4, we'll do 3 against 2. Now, 3 against 2 means it's a polyrhythm. 2 rhythms playing simultaneously, okay? So I'm going to play 8th note triplets with my left hand, and I'm going to play 8th notes with my right hand to the downbeat. Let me demonstrate that. Now this is really going to intensify your focus. Let me take my glasses, put them here before I kill them. So I'm going to do it real slow. 1, 2, 3. 1, that's the triplet. Remember I told you, instead of me counting 1 and the, for subdivisional reasons, I'm counting 1, 2, 3 for this situation. 1, 2, 3. 1. I like to put an accent on the first note. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Now listen to the bass drum. See that? The bass drum's establishing my meter or my tempo. It's on the 1, 2, 3, 4. So per hit with my bass drum, I'm getting an 8th note triplet with my left hand. But I'm not counting 1 and the 2 and the 3 and the 4, and I could, but I'm trying to demonstrate the 3 against 2. So I subdivide the 3. 1, 2, 3. That's by itself, playing 3. 1, 2, 3. Now here's a little formula. When you're playing a polyrhythm, this one here, 3 against 2, there's a mathematical division. Just multiply 3 times 2. Okay? You get 6, not 6 beats, but 6 counts, okay? So now I'm playing the triplet, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now I want to open up that triplet somewhat. So now instead of me counting 1, 2, 3, I'm going to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3. We already understand that. We got the counting thing going on. Now with the right hand, I'm going to play it on the first note. Both hands play on the first note because my right hand is going to establish an 8th note. My left hand is going to establish the 8th note triplet. Okay? So I have 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Do we see that? All right, investment. Okay, Jimmy, stop confusing me. Let's see what we got. Hey, Randy. All right, we'll talk about it later, Jim. All right, we're doing a lesson now. Thank you very much for doing that. All right, 3 against 2. Do we understand my breakdown of the 3 against 2? My 3 is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Now this is just one way. There's a couple other different ways. But this is priming you for what we're going to do with the reading. Okay? So we have 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to open up the triplet. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and we understand that count. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and do we understand it? I know it makes sense, Stacy, but do you understand it? Randy understands it. Jimmy, do you understand it? Paul? Robert? Dennis? Seth? A. I did a while back give everybody an exercise, 3 against 2, with the stick control. Guess you don't remember it. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to do, if you open up to the syncopation book, open up to page 10. Who's Alexander? Hi, how you doing? Yeah, well, we could do that, but we're not addressing that. Just hang out there for a minute. Hey, Jimmy, give him my email. Email me and I'll do some explaining to you, okay? Anyway, I'm going to play page 10 with my right hand on the floor tom-tom against the 8th note triplet. Do we all see that? One. Line number 2. Does everybody here understand what I'm doing? How are you from the Ukraine? Jimmy, put my email in there, please. There you go. Thank you, Jim. Come on there. Mouse, where are you? Come on. All right. Alex, email me. There it is, mattpatella1001@gmail.com. And we'll talk about the flams in the stick control book. I feel if you're from the Ukraine, everybody understands it. Stacy and Randy and Old Dog. Alex, I feel you might do a lot of molar if you're in the Ukraine. Because I had a friend there. We had a big argument. His name is Mosk Damien or whatever his name is. He's a pretty well-renowned drum teacher, supposedly, in the Ukraine. And him and was Don Famularo hooked up. Is that you? I mean, is that who you study with? All right, Alexander. Who did you study with? Put his name. You're welcome. No problem. Will you put his name the person who you study with in the Ukraine? You know, I can't pronounce the name. All right, I'm going to do, we're on page 10. Okay. What's this? Randy Cohen. Yeah, Jimmy put the spaces in. Okay. That's all right. Thank you, Randy. All right, we're going to do page 10. Guys, pick a line that you want to hear. Because right from that line, we're going to go to the stick control book. Gentlemen. I don't know him. Okay, that's okay, Alexander. We'll talk later in email. Any line that you guys want to hear? 1, 2, 3, 1. That's line 1. Line 2. So on and so forth. We now, hey, how am I always losing my sticks? Mercy, I got to get the glue, the Gorilla Glue. Okay, good for you, Alexander. And we'll, you know, you come back and we'll do a lesson on flams, okay? But email me, we'll talk. Anyway, anybody request one of the lines from page 10? Because we're going to go to the stick control book right now if I don't get any requests. Everybody hear me? Number 5, okay. No probleme. Ding-a-da-bonga, come on. Line 5, I'm going to play just the line on the snare drum, then I'll do 3 with the left hand and play the line with my right hand. Line 5, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. That's, he repeats himself 4 times there for the measures. So I'm going to play triplets. I'll play the 2 up here, okay? Ah. You get that, Robert? Swing what? Swung? That's another lesson. Let's stay with the straight up and down first, because now we're going to revert with that the 3 against 2 to the stick control book. Okay? Now if I said play the stick control book page 5, line 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I say eliminate the lefts, so you're going to have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If I go to line 2, it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'm going to eliminate the lefts. That gives me 1 and 2 and 4 and. Do we follow that so far? Man, these pop-ups are crazy today. Ay, ay, ay. And I'm not being grouchy or grumpy, but they are a nuisance. Man. All right, everybody have the stick control book line 1. we eliminate the lefts, and I'm going to play the triplet with my left hand and play eliminating the lefts with my right hand on the floor tom-tom. That's number one. Number two. Number three. That's where we're going to go tonight. With hopefully I can write some things out for you. Everybody understands it. Okay. Any questions on that? That is for me hard to write out. Okay. And oh man, I got to change time signatures inside of a measure and all that good stuff. I will try it. Hopefully, you would understand it. I'm gonna definitely try to send you that proofreading thing, okay? And that was for 3 against 4. Okay, now you know how to do 3 against 2? You can. All right, Stacy. You're more or less, Stacy, I believe you might be playing that only by ear. And if I'm incorrect, please smack me in the head. But that's my summation of that. You need to count the triplet. When I talk to you gentlemen and ladies and whatever about, the different steps of, knowing the math, knowing the counting systems, you counting out loud, the next level, okay, will be humming the melody. And that comes into view with, the New Breed. He starts you right there. So that's not for a beginner. That book is like for somebody who can play and understands the mathematics of rhythms. Am I right there, Stacy? You more or less playing it by ear as opposed to counting? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. All right, it's time for me, the book. Let me see if I get that written out for you guys. I don't know, I can't promise, I'll try. Anybody have any questions? Any questions? Marcio, you still there? Seth, you have any questions? Dennis? Randy? Paul? Jimmy? You're welcome, Stacy. Everybody now understands 3 against 2 a lot better. I really wanted to do 3 against 4, but we can't jump the gun. You really need to know 3 against 2 first. Good, Dennis. Remember now, work on the videos. Oh, by the way, old dog, that was a very nice letter you sent me last night. Thank you very much. Very respectful person. Okay, so we'll see everybody 7 p.m. tonight. No problem. We'll see everybody tonight, 7 p.m. I might try to make it a little earlier. I don't know. But definitely 7. And if you